After many in-trial delays, the jury for the case of a refugee charged with the first-degree murder of a BC teen shortly after being fast-tracked through the Trudeau government's Syrian refugee plan finally heard details of the murder this past Friday. And today, I'm going to be bringing you what some of those horrific details were.
Where's Trudeau? Where's Trudeau? Where's Trudeau?
I trust our justice system. I trust our system to go through its processes to both apply consequences to this and to make sure that we're thinking about how we continue to keep people safe.
Drea Humphrey here with Rebel News, and despite the accused Ibrahim Ali's first-degree murder trial starting on April 6th, 14 jurors finally began hearing details of the case on April 28th. Now I have to warn you, the details the jurors heard, along with myself and others who were in the Supreme House courtroom, are very disturbing. They're every parent's worst nightmare, so please use viewers' discretion. You should also know that due to a publication ban, media is not allowed to publish the victim's name or likeness when explaining the proceedings to you. Crown Prosecutor Isabel Keeley started the day off with opening remarks for the jury. Keeley painted a picture of the brutal murder of the 13-year-old teen whose body was discovered in Burnaby Central Park on July 19, 2017. Keeley laid out what evidence the prosecutors will be relying on in an effort to prove their theory that Ali saw this girl while she was walking in the park's trail, dragged her into the bushes to sexually assault her, and also strangled her to death. The Crown's evidence that is said to be heard over the coming months will include a forensic pathologist's testimony, which the Crown says proves the child was strangled, and that the semen that was found in her vagina as well as her anus matches the DNA of the accused, Mr. Ali. Now, I warned you, it was hard to sit in there to be able to bring you this report as well. The jurors also heard from the first of at least 50 witnesses the Crown intends to call. The first that they heard from was the first responding officer to the search in the park after the teen's parents had reported her missing. The witness, RCMP Constable Richard Hudgens, testified to the moments where he was tasked to try and find the child until the moment he found her deceased. According to Hudgens, approximately 3 minutes after walking into the dark path, a pink wallet caught his eye, and upon looking inside of it, he found a cell phone as well as an image of what appeared to match the victim's description. Then, of course, he didn't know it was a victim. An RCMP dog was also called to look for the child, and after running in the direction of where the dog went, Constable Hudgens says that is when he saw the body of the child and knew she was deceased. Hudgens says he stood guard of the girl's body and waited for the ambulance and other authorities to come. And he explained that her hands were above her head and some of her private areas were exposed. For the most part, the accused, Ibrahim Ali, sat straight-faced with headphones on so that his translator could relay what was being said to him in Kurdish, except there was a moment where I caught that changed. You see, while his defense attorney, Kevin McCullough, began to cross-examine Hudgens, where McCullough was mostly questioning Hudgens about how he handled the task to search for the child and what he did after finding the child's body. He repeatedly asked Hudgens whether or not, when Hudgens first arrived and put on gloves before searching the park, whether or not that meant that Hudgens started to believe that he might be working a murder case, to which Hudgens repeatedly responded that no, at that time, he was not thinking that, and that putting on gloves is common practice, especially when you're searching for someone. But as this continued, and McCullough said something along the lines of, let me get this straight. It's the middle of the summer, you put on gloves, you find a wallet, you're looking for a missing kid, you mean to tell the juror that you didn't believe you might be working on a murder case? Well, that's when I happened to notice what appeared to be grinning from Mr. Ali, as well as kind of covering his mouth to maybe sort of stop chuckles from happening. It was very unnerving. Now, the court was adjourned shortly after this, which the jury will be called back on Tuesday. Not sure when you're watching this, but either way, Rebel News will continue to cover this trial closely for you in the next coming months. I'm Drea Humphrey, reporting from the Supreme Court of British Columbia for Rebel News. Did you know that Rebel News is completely viewer funded? That's right. We rely on you to make sure that everybody else has access to the other side of the story. If you appreciate the work that we do here for Rebel News and you want to support us, you can go on your device and type in rebelnews.com and hit the donate button. We appreciate your support.